All right, so now we're back. Let's add the props that we need to display the individual task. So the first thing I'll do is that when you do the map function, you need to set a key. So I'll come here and set the key to, this is going to be task dot underscore ID. Okay, so that's going to be the key. Remember, in our database, the ID is stored with the underscore ID property. Then I'm going to now pass props to the task component. So the first prop I'll pass is going to be the task, which technically I'll just set to this task here. So set that to task as well. Then I'll also pass the index. So index is going to be set to index as well. All right, so now I will receive these props from the task component. So let's go to task, and I will come to this top here, and then I'll just receive the prop. So the structure, I'll get the task and the comma index. So now basically what this means is that I have access to the task that we've gotten from our database. So here, for example, in this index, which is this one here, I don't need to now say one. I can make it dynamic. So I'll just open my parenthesis here and I'll say index. And remember, indexes in JavaScript, they are zero based. So what I need to do to make it start from 1, 2, 3 is I'll just say index plus 1. All right. Then as for this one here, instead of saying task 1, I'll just say task dot name. Remember, we have the name property in the task. Okay. So let me go ahead and save this, and I think I need to refresh the page so that it's like fetches the data. So I'll just refresh the page one more time. Oh, so I already have the data, no need to refresh the page. So but it still works. So you see 1, and I'll just add a dot here and some space and then save again. Okay, great. So you see we now have all the tasks displayed here, task 1 to 8. So now we've been able to successfully display the task on the page. So in the next one, we're going to see how we can now perform all the other functions like setting the task to complete, editing the task, and deleting the task. All right, see you in the next one. All right, guys, so now we're going to add the functionality to delete a task. So let's quickly do that. I'm going to come, this is my task list. So I'll just come below my create task. I don't know if I should even add comments. Anyway, let's create an asynchronous arrow function, and we're going to call that delete task, like so. And let's open that up. Now, when we want to delete a task, we actually need to delete that task by its ID. All right. So I'm going to give this function a parameter of ID. All right. So let's come inside of the function, and I'm going to do a try catch block inside of the function. Now, in my try block, I will then say I'll wait, and then I'll use my Axios dot, I'm sure you can guess the method, delete. So Axios dot delete is going to take the URL of the task you want to delete. So here I'll just grab this, my URL syntax here. I'll copy that, and then I'll come to my delete function here and slot that in. So this is the URL, but it's not complete. You know, you have to specify the ID of the task. So at the end of this task here, you need to now say / and then we're going to now slot in this ID parameter. So I'll use my string interpolation. I'll say $, and like that, and then I'll just slot in my ID here. So now the URL is complete, and I can, you know, select and delete a task by its ID. So after you've deleted the task, I just want to reload the page. So the way I'm going to reload the page is I'll just call the get tasks functionality. So get tasks, and that will just, you know, refresh the task on the page by looking into the database and updating what's on the page. So that's it. If there's an error, I'll simply toast the error. So toast.error, and then I'm just going to, you know, toast the error message. So error.message, like so, and that's it. So essentially this is the function to delete the task, but we want this function to be called when the user clicks on this button. So what that means is that I'm going to pass this function as a prop to my task component. So let's come down inside of our JSX, and this is the task. Where is it? So right here. So we're going to come here and add a prop. I'll call that prop delete task, and that's going to be equal to delete task as well. Great. So now I've passed the prop from this main component, this task list component. Let's go to the task.js component and receive that prop. So I'm going to come here, I'll add a comma, and then I'll catch the prop. So delete task. Okay, great. So where do we want this delete task function to be fired from? Well, we want it to be fired from this trash icon. So on the trash icon, I will add an on click like so, and that's going to be equal to, let's open our curly braces, and then I'm just going to add a function because I want to pass the ID of the specific task here that I want to delete. So I'll add my arrow function syntax here like this, and then I'll call the delete task. Now the only thing is that this delete task needs to now pass the task.id. So you see this task here, it has all the properties of our task. So we'll come inside here and give it the task._id. All right, so basically this will push the ID, and let me save that first, and that ID will now be what is referenced here in our delete task function as our ID. So let's go ahead and try it out and see if it works. So I'll come here, let me delete the last one. Aha, so you see when I delete the task, then the get task function is also called and it refreshes the page. So let's delete everything and maybe just leave like maybe 3 or 4. Okay, yeah, so that's fine. So you see our delete task functionality works. So in the next one, we're now going to see how we can, set the task to complete or even edit the task. See you there.